Here's the Hammershot with Crayola and Model Magic foam clay pushed in all the places I don't want the mold to go. Box lined with saran wrap to put the mold's material in, which I'm going to use this thin concrete, my mixing bucket, gloves, extra saran wrap, and a mixing stick. I just eyeballed the amount of water and concrete that I mixed together. Make sure that you get stuff that doesn't have aggregate in it, gravel basically, and tap your form to make sure that you get the concrete to shape well around the blaster. I use saran wrap as a mold release because I wanted the blaster to come out easily and I was trying to do the project fast and cheap, so I tried to use things that I had already. It would have been nice to get a really accurate silicone mold made from the blaster, but $6 for the concrete and $7 for a bag of plaster seemed like the obvious way to go. I just rubber banded the two halves of the mold together to get ready to pour the plaster in, and I assumed that it would be tight enough and the plaster would be thick enough that it wouldn't leak, but you can see right here that it's coming out. I rewrapped the two halves of the mold with a bunch of saran wrap and rubber banded that, and then wrapped it even tighter with more saran wrap to keep it from coming out, and eventually I got it to work. But a lot of plaster did end up on the outside. I just used an old garbage knife to knock the extra plaster off the outside to make it easier to get it apart. I only had to use my hands to pry the two halves of the mold apart. Unfortunately, the cast was extremely stuck to one side of the mold, so I grabbed whatever tools were laying around near me and tried to crack all the excess plaster off and pry it out of the mold somehow. Eventually I just broke it to get it out. After about an hour of beating on this thing, I decided it was worth it to just break the mold to get my cast out. I ended up with a pretty rough cast of a Hammershot, but it'll definitely be workable to make a Kydex holster with because it won't melt. Anyway, if you want to see how I screwed up trying to make a holster in the first place, click on the link on the screen to see the video where I messed up, and the other one will show you how I actually made a good holster with the plaster cast. I also put the links to those videos in the description underneath this video. And thank you for watching, and subscribe to my channel because you're definitely going to want to see what I do next.